You live, brother.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Just Cooling Podcast. My name is Country Red, and you are.
I am DJ Quinn. How y'all doing out there?
All right. We have a special guest tonight. Tell everybody who you are and give everybody your background and your resume.
Yes, sir. I go by Omen44. Um, I just came out with a album called Hentai. I want y'all to check that out. I just came out with a video with this artist, Brooklyn native artist, Chelsea Reject. The song is called Hate. It's talking about the Asian hate thing that's going on. I want y'all to check that out too. Um, I go by Omen44. That is in OMEN. If you're looking for Twitter and Instagram, it's under OMENFOUR in alphabet. I have an Instagram and a Twitter account, and I want y'all to check that out too. Yes.
Okay.
That'll work. So, how did you get started into hip hop? Can you hear me?
I think it's thing. Hold on 1 second. All right. Hello.
I have a technical.
Omen. I think he froze up. Hold up.
Okay.
I'll get him back here in a second.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
That's all right. Give us a second here. Hold on. Let's see.
We are having technical difficulty. Just give us a second.
Yeah, hold on.
Technology that's hating on us.
We'll be right back. Y'all, hold on 1 second.
I'm sorry about that.
You good, brother?
I'm gonna put it back. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did I get into the game and start it off, right? That was a question, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
It's been a while. It goes back quite a while ago. First I was introduced to Japanese hip hop as a little kid when I was in my teen, like when I was really small. The first Japanese hip hop though that I was introduced to was from De La Soul, actually. They actually
Okay.
they actually featured these artists under the name of Stedarapad, which was a group in the 90s. And it was in the Balloon State of Mind album. And from there, I noticed there was Japanese folks doing it, and I came in from there, imitated the style, worked it up from. There was these there was this group called Microphone Pacer back in the days in Japan, which was a Japanese hip hop group. There was this group called Buddha Brand. These were people that I first looked up to and imitate, at the beginning. And from there, like even I still remember what the first hip hop video that I was introduced to back in the days. It was actually with Not Kick It, and the
Okay.
other one was KRS-One with Love. And back in the days, Japan's not too big in cable TV, so they had this it was actually playing in their national TV in the late nights.
Okay.
Like on every Friday nights, they had this program called Sony Music TV, which was like a music TV, and they had this exclusive hip hop special one night, which featured MC Hammer back in the days, and I was watching that, and I got into it, like notice what was going on, and little by little, back this is before the internet era, so I we needed to actually go out and collect all these informations even. Yeah. So from there, I started off, went to some, I was still in my team, but I sneaked in some college student parties and stuff, and uh, got in, connected with these street dancers and all that, and gradually I built it up from there. Yes, and I came to the States 20 years ago, and building since.
Can you
That's what's up.
can you elaborate a little bit more on what's the like overseas hip hop then versus the United States hip hop a little bit?
Okay. It's totally different nowadays with the Japanese heads. They they're all sorts of kids. Like there's kids that grew up in with Japanese hip hop,
Okay.
which actually never have listened to United States hip hop. Even in the '90s, there was only U.S. hip hop
Mm,
compared to that. Now we have Japanese hip hop, Japanese trap, American hip hop, American trap,
mm.
all sorts of things, and it's divided in so many sections nowadays. So, my perspective is mostly like the OG perspective, even. So I
Gotcha.
can't really tell, you know, there's so many things going on, you know.
And
So
what part of where you from actually?
in Japan, I was from the west side of Japan, called Osaka.
Osaka. Okay.
Okay. That's like
And so
Central. Oh, you said West.
it's a little bit more towards the east. Well, I mean west,
Okay.
like the total center, like perfectly centered, like in the middle of it. So, but even back then, like Tokyo was more of a thing, like it was like this was like back in the days when it was the VHS era. We used to
Mm,
borrow one down videos that really like those were the only source we could have got. Getting all these information. Nowadays, you go on YouTube and you can find something from the '90s, even from maybe like '80s,
yeah.
even. That's crazy, though.
Back in that. Can you talk to us about the group Yellow Magic Orchestra? Are you familiar with them? It's a Japanese group.
Or
It
yeah,
came-
Seattle Orchestra. That's a huge group from that's from the '70s, basically.
Yeah, I think they was one of the first groups to introduce rap. Or kind of adapt it a little bit, right? Is that correct?
They
They had some
incorporated so
kind
many stuff back in the 80s even. So
of, okay.
you know that's another that's another topic though.
Okay.
Officially they say that there was this group called Tiny Punk,
Okay.
Okay.
and there was this guy in the name of hold on, I forgot his name. There was this group called Tiny Punks, and they say they were the first group that actually made a hip hop. The song was called Tokyo Bronx. It goes Tokyo Bronx, Tokyo Bronx. I
We
think
learned.
you can go on YouTube. It's
uh,
it's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's strange. Because
uh,
back in the days, they had no clue what hip hop was even, and so they were
yeah.
unite. trying to incorporate all these ideas and trying to get all these information from all sorts of places, and like they just combine in their own way, you know.
Yeah. Now, as far as like Japan, wouldn't you say that they're more, even that you've been over here in America now? Would you say that they're more into hip hop overseas than they are here in America? I mean, they like embrace the culture more.
Embrace the culture.
Yeah, like, cause like now we don't even people now don't even buy CDs. We're more downloading it, and I know from what I hear, it's more they still like doing graffiti over there. They're still doing. I'm not saying they're not doing it here, but over there it's like more hip hop. You know what I mean? Like,
it take it more serious.
Yeah.
I mean, there's diversity. It's everywhere, you know. I mean, even inside New York, you know, these young cats, there's few young people that goes into boom bap even, and like there's few, you know, people that goes with the trap movement even, really. You know, some incorporate little by little, but of both, you know. I think that's happening in worldwide even, really. But the thing is, like what I'm seeing really is like, you know, Europe tend to like the traditional stuff, you know, in a way, in a way that they dig stuff, you know. So like even in Japan, you know, like people that's embracing that culture from the 90s, from the early 2000s, I think they're still stuck with that, you know, like you know, like even in Japan, like it's really hard to say really, because you know, like the popular stuff, the mainstream is becoming like they had this TV program in Japan called Freestyle Dungeon.
Okay.
And that program actually featured all these MCs and they were just battling over it. So like for normal people, that's what hip hop is in Japan right now, you know?
Gotcha.
So
That's dope.
yeah, but so you know, it's so I can't really tell, you know, like it's totally different with the age frame, you know, with the perspective. You know, I'm too much of a New York OG in a way, you know, like you know,
Right.
I grew, you know, Jazzmatazz Guru, Gangsta, you know, and shit, and like you know, so you know, but still, you know, I listen to I try to keep my perspective open, and you know
Absolutely.
listen to trying to observe it in a way, you know, trying to stay
Absolutely.
that trying to stay like a water, trying to stay like a sponge, you know, because I you know you never know. Good things are good,
Right.
even in rock or you know it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's music, so you know
Exactly.
as long as you can feel it, that's everything, you know.
So it works. So how has the reception been since you dropped your last album? What reviews and raves? Like, what's the feedback been on that album?
Oh,
The last time you
it's
dropped.
been good, you know. People, I got some interviews on what was that Japanese blogs and stuff. Um, they're giving me some good responses, you know. And I was for this hentai album, I was able to put in so many artists from so many countries, you know, from Germany, Denmark, France, Japan. So I was able to reach out to more, you know, more countries and more direction.
Gotcha.
And that was something that was really good for me, you know. They played my song in France, London, where else? Denmark, and all Switzerland and stuff. You know, there was this guy that hit me over from Switzerland and all that. You know, it, it's mind opening. It's really it gives you that feeling to it. You know, it's how it is right now nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
people talk about streaming streaming is bad and all that, but like at least people get to know you if you stick to it,
Right, right.
and there's wide ranges of possibilities out there. So, you know, yes.
Have you
So,
have you done any shows in Japan at all?
uh, I was lucky enough to throw in a show last year
Okay,
before the COVID started, even in February and March.
okay.
Uh, I we did I did like 13 locations in Japan, and boom,
Mm.
I finished that off. Um, Came back, and I haven't really done anything since I came back though,
How,
for like a year now. So
how was that?
hopefully,
How was that response when you was doing those shows over there?
for that show, oh, it was great. It was great. We went around 13 locations.
Okay,
It was great. Um, but for that project, I had this other project last year that came out 2 years ago,
okay.
which I did with a Japanese MC and this Japanese OG in the name of Nips. You know how I was talking about Buddha Brand that I was listening to in the 90s, right?
Right.
These
Mm-hmm.
people, these this group called Buddha Brand, they were considered like Japanese Wu-Tang back in the days, in the 90s.
Okay.
Was fortunate enough to do a whole album with this one guy in the name of Nips. He was in this group called Buddha Band, and I toured with him and biking and some with my homies, and it was crazy. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
We went around how many locations? We went to Osaka, Nagoya, Hokkaido, which is like uh, the north part of Japan, Sendai.
Okay.
Where else? We went to Shikoku. We went to lots of places. It was fun. We were all traveling together with the inside the band.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah,
It was nice. So
Come out there. About to come out there.
yeah, so yeah, yeah. Japan changed a lot in this couple of years. Like it became a very tourist friendly country. If they were supposed to have the Olympic Games last year,
yeah.
so
Right, right.
they were expecting lots of tourists there, but with all the food, that didn't really happen. But like, I think they're going to have the Olympic Games this year, and yeah, but it's a nice country. It's a tourist friendly country nowadays, really. And you can find anything like from a cheap motel, like a guest house or something like that. You can spend a night for like $20 or something, and like to the high end. Like it's really cheap too, even to travel in Japan. Not
Okay.
like New York. New York, you gotta at least pay like 150 for a night. That's
Right,
crazy.
right.
I'll go out there and dig the crates, find me some vinyls, man.
Yeah, yeah, like digging that crates and stuff.
Yeah.
Japan is totally different. Like it's crazy. Like there's this one building that has one floor just for vinyl.
Wow.
Okay, and all that. You'll be amazed with that. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's really good. Yeah, you can definitely have a good time digging some vinyls and all that. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, man.
So, hey, we'll get to this top 5 artists, Q.
Um. Yeah, yeah. We can get into that. You want to get into that?
Yeah. So we have this segment. We ask each guest what are the top 5 artists or songs that impacted your life. So what are the top 5 songs or artists that impacted your life?
Okay, no, yes, since I've been doing this interview quite a while, I already have that answer, this was crazy because I said MF Doom the other day,
Mm.
and
That's a piece to
this was,
MF Doom.
was before he passed away, even really. That was
Yeah.
crazy, Well, before he made that announcement, because he was actually officially dead
Yeah.
on the last Halloween, so
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
so yes, MF Doom, um, like I always say, Jizza. You
Mm.
know,
Ah,
when I heard that when I was a little child, like it had the sampling from that movie called The Lone Wolf and the Cub, which
Mm.
was a sample movie from the 70s, and like people, like at that intro they go, my father was a great samurai warrior. He chopped off 20, like 65 heads
a
of the
little
Lord
chicken
or
crack
something like
pepper.
that, right? And like, yo, why are they talking about these samurais and stuff,
Right, right.
the kid, and like, I was like, it was strange, it was really strange for a little child, to
Yeah.
listen to, and definitely Jizza, um, and who else was I talking about? Damn, it
The
was,
MF Doom, Jizza.
uh, and I gotta give it up for my man Nips from Buddha Brand,
Mm.
he was my,
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I was fortunate to do it, some stuff with him, and two more, um, yeah, uh, I mean from there, oh my lord, um, do we have to do this? I mean, okay.
No,
mean,
it's up to you,
I mean,
brother. I mean,
this is like, talking. I mean, this is hard. This is like deciding from Cool G Rap, Rakim, Nas, Jay Z. I
all
mean,
right.
this list
Check this out.
goes on, and
Going
like,
red man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bunch of
yeah, man, Method Man. I mean, RZA. I mean, this line, this is ridiculous.
You
Though. I
say,
mean,
Kevin, I got you.
and,
All right.
good time.
uh,
Let's talk about the album Eclipse. Talk about that a little bit. How you came up with
oh,
that. I like
uh,
the video too. How you went with all of that too.
yes, yes. Since I'm a, Asian and a 5%er, I needed to put that Asian thing to it, the
Mm.
animation and and I was able to combine all this stuff together. And you know, yes, it came out good, with the Asian theme, with the animation and all
Yeah.
that. And like, and I was fortunate enough to have a Planet Asia and the signature from Denmark too on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Snow Goons, Snow Goons. There's this hip hop group called Snow Goons in Germany.
I know about Snow Goons.
Yeah, yeah, they are dope. Like
Yeah.
they are,
Absolutely.
boy. It's strange because nowadays, like like Snow Goons are like the last how should I put it? Like the last fortress of boom bap or something.
Right. Right.
From New York in a strange way.
Yeah.
But these are like the people that inherited New York boom bap in the proper way.
Hmm.
That's kind of strange in a way, but like when I see it, but like you know, it's really, they have that grimy sound still, that
Yeah.
New York sound.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and they supported me really. I brought them out to Japan too. They had a great time.
Okay.
Um, uh, yes,
Y-
Goons was supporting me. I was fortunate enough to have a signature on it too. You know,
It was a dope track, man.
he
It's a dope track for sure. I like it.
appreciate
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like even with that hook part, I sampled that voice from who was that jazz great? Duke Ellington.
Okay.
That's actually
Oh,
Ellington's voice. I told you like, he taught Orientals like how human the roots is in, how when fiber centers talk about the continent,
Right.
they say they're from Asia, from the Holy Land, the whole thing. Like when this is like back in way back when, like even when we talk about, when we think about plate tectonic and all that, it was one land at the beginning. So in a way that when you see the world, like when we say like bow to the east, like it's just going back to that source, the roots.
Right.
Because you know, I mean, even with genetically, you know, when you talk about the first lady, Eva, you know, Mama Lucy, that's basically an African lady, you know.
Right.
So you know, it does make sense in a way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
After Eurasian Eclipse was like me like finding that source, that roots, like me as a 5%er, you know, like it's just one thing,
Gotcha.
one love, you know, nation, you know, the whole world. You know, it seems like all this is divided by languages, divided by, you know, so many perspectives, but it's not. You know.
Right.
And music, hip hop is the universal language, you know, which make us come together, you know. So that's what I was trying to put into, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah. I like it, man. It was a nice joint. Real nice.
So could you tell us about the infamous, or I ain't gonna say infamous, but I heard that you had a story about Marley Marl and Craig G. We got people that's watching this tuning in. How did that happen?
So okay, shout out to DJ June. She's a nice female Japanese DJ out
What's her
here.
name?
DJ June.
DJ June. Okay.
She's more like a nowadays mainstream DJ. So she, you know, she's spinning in Atlantic City and those huge places, clubs and stuff. So you can't totally say she's hip hop, but she, you know, she was doing this party with Tony Touch back in the days
Okay.
Oh,
called
wow.
Toka Tuesday. We used to hang out at that party, Toka Tuesday, every Tuesday night, and like you know, it was a good way to get connected too for me, you
Mm.
know. And that's how you know, I was introduced to Craig G and like Marley Marl and all that. But at the beginning, see, Craig, I didn't, I didn't know who, you know, it was Craig G that actually was um he hit it up on me. Well, I met him at Toga Tuesday. Um, he spoke to me, and I was like, um, first I kept on, you know, first I thought he was Marley Marl, you know, and he was like, yo, um, you do DJ or do you MC or something like that? And I was like, yeah, I spit some bars and stuff, and like boom, boom, boom. Um, and he was like, "Hey, you want to make a track?" And I was like, "Whoa, I can get a track from Marley Marl," and like so excited, you know. And
Yeah.
I called him up next day, and and from there, like he went on, okay, where do you want me to record and stuff? I'll spit some bars, and I was like, whoa, wait, Marley Marl can spit too? I was like, yo, oh, I didn't know that, and like. But you know, and as I was talking to him, I was like, oh wait, this is not Marley Marl. Oh, this is Craig G from the Juice Crew. You know, but still, I knew Craig G because you know he was famous from the freestyle battle back in the days in the '90s with the Supernatural and all that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like oh, this Craig G, the freestyle king. You know, so I was like, whoa, that's dope. So I, you know, that was a yeah, that was the thing. You know, like Craig G. I mean, he wrote all those verses for 8 Miles and stuff, right? With
Yeah.
Eminem in it. And I think he was the one who was writing all that stuff. Even.
I didn't know that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think I think so. Wait, I might be wrong. You know, so
I don't know. That don't sound right. If it was Eminem, he's a spitter too. So I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. Do some investigation on that one.
right, you're right.
what you
Not put on
what,
that window.
so what you think about today's hip hop now? As far as where it's going.
You know, that was another thing. Like, you know, with this hentai album, I think I I made my own statement to it, you know.
Okay.
That was my background. That was where I came from. That, you know, when I made it and when I listened back to it, you know, it reminded me of Jazzmatazz, with Guru and
Mm.
so that that's where my roots was at, like even with the roots, like the second album, like with the um yes, like Philadelphia album, I forgot which one it was.
Yeah.
But the blue one though,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
blue album, yeah.
Now the
So
blue
like
ones, do you want more? The blue ones, do
yeah,
you want more?
that
Do was it Do
you
You Want
want
More?
you,
Yeah.
you want more.
You talking about the
So
blue album?
that
In the rooftop.
those two albums was like a huge part of me, and so when I was listening to my hentai album, it just brought me those memories, But now that I'm now that I accomplished that, and I would, I just came out with this song called "Hate" that I did with which I was talking about
Yeah,
that I
that's
did
dope.
with Chelsea Reed,
That's a
yeah,
dope
young
track too.
cat
That's a
from
dope track.
Chelsea Reed, from Brooklyn, and it made me feel like I can challenge more,
Mm.
and I can do more stuff, and at the same time when I look back at my album and all that, like even with how I started hip hop, when I was in my team, I had so many influences, like DJ Crush, like I even had like all these informations from London, even, like Massive Attack, Portishead and all that, and
What is it? Right.
Portishead and all that, like these were dope songs back in the days in the 90s, even, So,
Portishead.
you know, to me, New York hip hop was everything. Yes, it is, and it is still. But like at the same time, I feel obligated, and I feel this strange responsibility of like creating more new content,
Right.
more creative stuff, not just stuck in. Well, boom bap is my thing, and it's my roots, and it's my it's my thing. But like at the same time, I gotta be more aggressive. I have to challenge more.
Yeah.
That's how.
Evolve. Trying to evolve a little more.
Yes, yes, like yeah, because I listen to young stuff too. I love listening to Maxwell Cream. Like certain artists. And I can still bob to it too.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing too that I can still bob to it, and I can still have these open ears to it. And I want to keep it that way. Yes.
Right.
All right. Sports. You doing sports? You watch sports?
No, that's another thing. I have.
Don't worry about it. We'll go to the next one. Don't even worry about it, player. Go
Yeah,
to the next one.
yeah,
You like,
how MCs talk about, like they make a reference to a sports reference, like I'm balling, blah 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 blah. Like somebody.
You know,
I can't make those references at all.
that's like
oh, no.
Fight Dog used to do that all the time. Used to reference uh,
Yeah,
Nick players and stuff like that. So
Big deal,
like
man.
uh,
They ain't gonna hold it against you.
even Pusha T saying like Jordan leaping from the free zone or something like that. Like you know
yeah.
I can't really say stuff because I really I can't I can't
Absolutely. Um, Let me ask you, what would you say some helpful tips would be for other rappers that's coming from overseas, that's trying to make it, or even rappers just trying to get over to overseas. What would be some helpful tips to do to
I have this young artist that just came from LA. He he made some breaks when he was really young and in his teens when in Japan. He's over here to challenge in New York in US. And I'm encouraging him very much. He goes by Keanu, and he's a dope artist. And the people, people that come in, young cats, they always try to become somebody else.
Mm,
Everybody's trying to be somebody, but like not themselves in a way.
right.
They're trying to be somebody else in a way, like a big name or something. At the end of the day, you have to be you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to build it up to that point, and be original with it, And I think I think that should be all. That should be the goal for all of us, even in a way.
Let me ask you: is it hard to get your music played overseas, or is it? Well, this is a two-part question. Is it hard to get your music played overseas? And question two is how hard is it to go overseas and perform?
The thing is, over here, New York is a good competitive place.
Okay.
That's why, me just to have my own show, just to have my own shine, I organized my own parties and stuff.
Right.
That's the reason I was able to bring out Buddha Brand from Japan and have them perform in New York too. And we had quite a lot of crowd there, like something close to 500 and all that. And
Right.
you know, um, lately I haven't done my show, haven't done my own party for a while, but like that's another thing. You know, me as an artist, I'm a promoter too. And
Okay.
do my own parties. I bring out artists to Japan and all that, and I build it up from scratch. And yes, it is a hard thing to have myself noticed and all that. Nowadays, shout out to MJ and all them, they're supporting me and I have so many connections like you folks,
Yeah.
having me on the podcast, even, and that's a huge thing for me. But it took me a while, just to come to this point. I done so many stuff, just to attract people and have them notice what I was doing and like who I was, just to introduce myself. I hooked up with so many artists, from
Right.
Sadat X, AG, yeah, Craig G. I have a track with Marley Marl, Large Professor, you know, and that's how I got introduced to them, and like that's how I made my connections and all that. Like
Gotcha.
my label's the Plug International, but like I am the plug, and I became the plug in a way.
Mm.
So
So,
and I'm still, you know,
well, let me ask you this
hopefully I
question.
can have.
Let's say a young rapper is coming to you, and they have music out, but it's mainly over here. How would you recommend them going overseas? Could they go overseas
Uh,
with their album, or how would you recommend that? You know what
that's a good question.
I mean?
I mean, though, this internet made people, like I even like even Chelsea Reject, and I have this other young cat in the name of Shadow the Great from Loaf Music.
Okay.
Um, I have him on the featuring too. I brought them out to Japan too. Um,
And was they received well when you took them over there? Was they received?
yeah, they're
Okay.
received well. Like Chelsea Reject did track. She did some stuff with Jazzy Sport. Um, she's received good,
Okay.
and even with like people are branching out. Like even like who was that guy? The underachievers. I forgot his name. Uh, I forgot his name. He's branching out to Japan. He's doing some collabo with Japanese artists too.
Okay.
So you never know what kind of even with like there's this label called 88 something
Hmm.
that's that's basically they're featuring all these Asian artists.
Okay.
They had that song Ichima or something. It's more like a trap song, but like you know, there's ways of doing it, like and even with New York art, they don't really. Some artists don't even target U.S. They
Mm,
target Europe or something like that. Like to show them their authenticity, even in a way.
mm.
You know, it's becoming even with Chelsea Reject, she's getting huge traction in Japan. You know, she's getting huge traction, and like even with like she's done some um stuff with Japanese apparel, Japanese clothing lines too, like Privilege and stuff. So you
So
gotta come in all sorts, you know,
so
not just
it's probably better to know somebody in order to it helps basically if you know somebody from Japan to get in.
that. Well, yes. Uh, well, that's true. It is true that it is about the plug. It's about the connection. I mean, if a young kid is like confident enough with his stuff and like he wants to push it hard, he should like hit up some Japanese artists, hit up some French artists, and get into it. Like you never know.
Gotcha.
Like, you never know. Well, and like you gotta start from somewhere, in any kind of in any kind of way, And yeah, that's how I see it, really.
Okay.
Like if there's these young kids that's trying to get into it, and like you know, they as long as you have that cultural background, and as long as you have a statement to make, I think that can lead you to a connection in a way.
Okay.
That's
Right.
how I see it.
All
You
right.
don't get something for nothing. So
Gotcha.
you need something. You
Gotcha.
need something. Yes, you either need a character. Either need a skill set. You need something. To bring to the table.
Gotcha.
So,
Oh man, we got Evil D in the chat. DJ, is that DJ Evil D, the real Evil D? Am I
ooh,
tripping or is that really him?
oh, for real. Whoa.
Yeah.
Shout,
That's him. Okay.
yes.
Shout out to DJ Evil D. Wow.
He said some.
We do have,
And all that.
we
Whoa.
have one question in the chat. Chico, my brother wants to know what motivates you to keep rapping.
I mean, this is my life now, and
Mm-hmm.
it's I feel responsible for people that even fucked with me, like
Mhm.
so I mean I gotta go with it, and like it's just my love to it,
Yeah.
that not that po- not it's not a poetry thing, but like it's something that I came to New York 20 years ago. It was hard for me to get into the whole system. It was, you know, back in the days, I worked 6 days, 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and, it didn't really take me to nowhere, and still, I had a motivation. I had a purpose to it, and like hip hop gave me that.
Yeah.
So that was a big part. I mean, I lived like that for quite a while. And now I have my family, my seed. I have to be responsible for that.
Absolutely.
So motivation. I mean, my family, music, everything. I mean, Yes, it's hard. Just to keep myself spiritually awakened. I read lots of books though.
Yeah.
Like I was reading this book from Taisetsu Suzuki about Zen.
Mm.
You know, like I read lots of books. Like even with the book of the Hidden Leaf and all that. It's a
Okay.
it's a book about samurais. It's about it's a it was written in the medieval Japan, in the 1400 or something like that.
Okay.
Um, Even with me, studying the 120 and the whole 5%er thing, I see something very, you know, common, not common, but like, similarity in within these mathematics and these ideas even,
Right.
I don't know why, but like even the ancient samurais, they were talking about like inhale and exhale, like make seven, like prepare seven breath before making the real decision or something like that.
Mm.
Number seven is God in the 5% term, so
Right. Right.
it's strange. It's strange. So
Jeez,
call,
number seven.
even
God.
hip, when you said about like how who actually rapped at the beginning. I mean, back you can take it back to Gil Scott Heron or somebody, and like they weren't really actually rapping, but they were building that structure already back in the days.
Yeah, the foundation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the foundation. So like, oh, yeah.
Let me ask you: do you prefer rapping in Japanese or do you prefer rapping in English?
Back in the days it was totally English, but
Mm.
now I see it as music. I
Yeah.
don't really it's Japanese or English as long as it's dope and it sounds right and it's hitting. I think that's the thing. But the thing is, my challenge was to come to the States and do it in English, so
Right.
that's my main skill.
Gotcha.
So,
But I bet you
yeah.
they love it when you do it in Japanese over there
Well, most of the time they don't understand what I'm saying, even in Japanese, 'Cause I tend to make it complicated, but
though.
that's fine, so I can't fake that. But that's another thing, like, um, uh, like even with I incorporate certain words inside Japanese rap too. Like
Mm.
I say, civilize the 85ers inside the Japanese rap even, and
Mm.
they'll 85. What does that mean? So that's another thing. Like, I want them to notice these weird small stuff,
Yeah.
because that's how I got into it. Like even with like MF Doom saying C Cypher Punk, it was like breaking that C as in cop, Cypher as in O, P as in police. So it's cop basically, but like
Right.
Yeah.
he was saying in a very eloquent way, in a very very New York way, the 5% way, like
Yeah.
so like I want so that's another thing, So I want definitely um the 5%ers gave me the name, because I go by Omen44, right?
Right.
I culture freedom Allah, and
Mm.
I feel like I'm obligated to that, like culture and through culture, I free the dome, I free the dumb, like bring perspective, bring the whole culture and like connect the people.
Yeah.
Th- That's how I feel. That's a yes.
And I didn't even know, but that uh, the hate for Asians, Chinese people has been so heavy. I didn't even know that. Um, but do you feel like it's been real heavy?
Since like shout out to China Mac and them, like as an Asian, making that statement and like, you know, Asians were too much of a minority. Like,
Mm.
Asians are actually 5%. There's only 5% in this US,
Right.
and we were too much of a minority that we didn't even have a voice, to be honest. But the thing was like Asians, you know, having actually getting attacked and like we are just noticing what this country is in a way.
Right. Oh, hold on.
It's crazy. You freeze up?
Yeah, he froze up. Hold up a second.
Okay.
You know how the government do us when we start getting factual.
The government business. He's about to say too much.
We lost you on you were saying about the hate.
Yes.
We had lost you. Your phone had froze.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So, like, you know, we as Asian, you know, we're noticing this stuff, and like African Americans, you know, African Americans, they've been going through this for 300 years, you know. I mean, even with and you know, that was the reason that, you know, I thought it was in the perfect timing. It was in the perfect time. I had Chelsea Reject as a Brooklyn native, Afro American, you know. That's why I incorporated all those shots from Black Lives Matters even, you know. And like, you know, hate people, you know, even with this hate, you know, it's it is subliminal in a certain way, you know.
Right.
Because like even with us Asian, you know, we don't. I'm myself, I'm American, you know, I'm an American citizen, but like at the same time, it's strange because we don't really have a place, you know, like in a way. We didn't. It just made us question who is America, what
Gotcha.
is America,
Right.
what am I as an American, you know. And this is the right timing. This is we're coming to another level of, you know we
Facts.
had the African American as a president, the 44th, you know, president. You know, I'm sure there's going to be an Asian president in the future, even, you know, in this country, and that's how it's going to be. You know, like we're going to go through this, and like we got to understand the whole dynamic of this world. You know, I
Facts.
see that I see the Chinese government growing so big rapidly because of the population and all that. You know, and we can't be arguing with all these conflicts and all that.
Yeah.
And it's not taking all these resources and all that, you know, and we've seen enough, you know, and we gotta move on to the next, you know.
I was actually hoping to see Andrew Yang in office myself. I was digging him. You know what I'm saying? For real, I was hoping to see him in office. So I get
He
it.
probably
Sure.
trying to run.
He should run again. He should run again. I just liked his point of views and his politics and what he stood for. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely he wanted to be for the people. So I was hoping he was getting in, but you know how that happens.
You know, there's so many problems still, you know, like, you know, even with this Pride Month, you know. You know, I mean, you know, it's really hard, you know, because I mean, you know, oh, okay, like your son became gay or something, you know, can I accept that? You know, I don't know, to be honest. You know, it's a hard question, really, you know.
Yeah, I
Um,
already know. I already know.
And
well,
him
I-
nigga freeze again.
this I can't really, you know, and we won't know what kind of future problem will, you know, and we need to be embracing even, you know, from now
Yeah.
on, you know.
Yeah.
But at least, you know, we got to move on and, you know, deal with all these problems, just keep moving. And, you know, like, like I always say, knowledge, wisdom, understanding,
Mm.
this is the three and the 5%ers, you know, like all this, you add up, it's six equality, you know. And, you know, in this world of equality, you know, being a racist won't really benefit you, you know?
Facts.
That's simple, you know.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I'll definitely get that for sure. Go ahead, Ray. You got a question?
So we haven't even did the Who You Got segment.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, so this is a segment called Who You Got segment, and you have to pick one of the two MCs, okay? And so we're gonna put you in a hot seat. So I'm gonna throw up Coogee Rap or Rakim. Who you got? Who you rolling with? Oh man, I know you ain't stuck.
Him guy though.
Rakim.
Rakim?
Yes.
You about to say that? You
Coogee Rap.
center?
I understand.
Coogee
Coogee,
Rap.
my favorite track with Coogee Rap is actually the Fast Life with Nas. Actually, that's my
Oh man, ooh, mine is that it's a shame
where we
what you
go.
do
People
in
know
Thailand. Yeah.
that was dope, really. But Rakim, I mean, he's the God Cypher Divine. What can I do? No
Yep.
All
delay.
right.
Yep.
He introduced me to it. Like like uh, I
Rakim.
had to stick to the line.
Well,
Yes, sir.
I like that.
yes.
I like Rakim, man. That for sure. He's he's not underrated, but he is kind of underrated. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
if you don't know hip hop, you're not gonna really know Rakim. But
Right.
And I
Yeah.
like, and he was making this interview, I think on he was talking about how he considered his vocal as like a trumpet, like no, like a saxophone, like with Coltrane, and
I've
he
seen
used
that.
Coltrane, and I feel that way, like when somebody, I think it was Last Poets when they were talking about Coltrane, they were talking about how in the 70s or in the 60s, jazz always had this improvised section with they go in with the instruments crazy like
yeah.
and like the way he got into it was like he was really it seemed like he was really angry or something like he was coming in so like like he was coming in with so much energy and like and Last Poets was talking about how he was coming in with that energy of how the African Americans were treated in a way that he felt the anger, the wrath, but at the same time, some sort of relief to it. Like I forgot what he was saying exactly at the time, but like it was so convincing, really.
So what's up with
Like
what so what for you next? What's up and coming for you next? What you got coming out next?
I had so much project, but I'm leaving that on the side and like trying to I'm working with so many materials right now. I did this stuff with Kayoitachi. I was supposed to drop that too, but like I'm looking back right now, and like trying to organize it in a way that so I can be more me in a way, and
Got
in a way that I can and like you know I'm going on over the not the Skype and all that, but like with the gods and like conversating with them about the whole knowledge and the 120s and all that, and
you.
like even like I'm trying to
So
I'm
you,
fo- I'm
you
focusing within in the
so you
spirituality.
you trying to get more knowledge yourself.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly right, my man. I'm sorry about that. That's exactly right.
I
That's
got you.
exactly what I want.
I got you.
The knowledge of
I got you.
yes, sir.
Just to sum it up. Sum it up right there.
I got you.
But it is bigger than hip hop, it is
Yeah,
big. It's about, the culture. It's about the people,
absolutely.
The, the,
What's something that people might not know about
who might not know about me.
you?
Um,
Yeah.
I spoke most of the stuff right now.
Yeah, you did.
You know,
Well, how about this then?
no,
How important is it to have a solid team?
work as a team.
Like, your team that's around you,
Uh-huh.
how important is it to have a solid team running your business or your record label, international plug? How
You
important
know,
is that?
no, as an individual, I know people. Music. You know, we all come in with that ego. We all come in with who we are and what we are. Knowledge of the self. But at the end of the day, it's about the people. It's about who you contribute to. It's about giving. Because what you give is what you are at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
So
Right.
wo- working with the team reminds you of who you are. Because people people think, people inside their brain, they have their own image, but it's not exactly what they are. We're created by other images, even really. So
Facts.
staying with the team means it just instantly reminds you of who you are and what you have to become, what you have to do. And you know e- even as a father, you have the family, the foundation.
Mm,
That's who you are. That's where you lay the roots to. So
Facts.
like I see my family is in a way a company too. My team is the company. And it's not just company, it's my foundation. It's the
foundation, okay.
me as a man. I'm the sun. The the child is the resurrection, the star. And
Right.
my wife is the moon. It's just it's the team. It's the it's how it's organized. So that's how I see my team.
Right on.
Even though he's over here in the States. And
Uh,
yes,
no, go ahead.
go ahead. No, so that's why I keep it into my circle. And I just rotate around that like the stars.
Right. So
Right.
That,
if people want to work with you or try to, how can they contact you, or if they want to work with you
yeah,
or try to get overseas or something like that, how can they?
DM me, through it to Twitter or Instagram or whatever.
Okay.
I'm always open and with all these new ideas. Yes, um, you never know where. Like
Okay.
even with this artist in Japan that I worked with. He goes by Adam. He's from Kamakura, and we just did a show there last year too. He was at he was in New York, and he came to Chelsea Rejects party when she was performing, and I hooked up with him there, and I brought him out to an this is another radio internet radio station that my man from Bangkok came. Yeah, the Bangkok album. I brought him to that radio station, and he
Okay.
freestyled and all that, and that's how we got connected. So you never know when. So it's better to keep the eyes open and keep the ear to the pavement. Boom, listening to stuff. You never know where you can get hooked up. Where and when, how.
Absolutely.
Stay ready.
So
Stay ready.
Yeah,
yeah, stay ready.
we definitely gonna connect with you and work with you too, man, in the
Yeah.
future.
If you keep doing your stuff,
Yeah.
you'll really get to somewhere.
Absolutely.
So like, when I think of it, you know, this is what I tell myself all the time, At the end, there's no winner, just survivors.
Mm,
And as long as you keep doing it, as long as you're able to survive it, I think that's the accomplishment. That's
absolutely.
how I see it.
Facts.
That's real.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, like I was saying, we definitely gonna work with you, man, in the future, and we got a couple of artists who we got. So yeah.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Yes.
All right. You have any shout outs you want to give or anything like that?
Um, Shout out to all my folks in Japan. Shout out to God. And shout out to the gods. Um, Check out my Twitter and Instagram account. It's under OMENFOURFOUR as an alphabet. Omen44. Um, Check out my latest album, Hentai. I have a visual DJ mix on YouTube too. I want y'all to check that out. Some crazy stuff going on. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I seen him DJing with the little bitty 45. I
yes,
seen
yes.
he had the little 45s on that. That was dope. That was real dope. I seen that.
Vinyls too, in Japan and
Yeah.
I'm selling in Europe too. That's
Mhm.
another thing, like you never know. Like even with the merch and stuff, some like even with merch, shout out to Elder Sensei from Artifact. Like he has the
Oh,
whole line of merch, like
Yeah.
from
yeah,
T
we had him on the show. Yeah, he dope, man.
to like he even has his own rolling paper and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
He be on it.
yeah.
good.
That's like Wiz Khalifa got his own Kush, Khalifa Kush.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
you know.
So yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So I would like to end the show with a closing quote, y'all. Okay. So the quote go like this: "Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart." I'm gonna say that one more time. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. And that's by Roy T. Bennett. Let that marinate. If you would like to elaborate on that, you're more than welcome. If not, it's all good.
What you think about that quote?
Wait, tell me that last part. Dream, follow your dreams.
Yeah, don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in
And
your heart.
what was after that? Pushed by the peers, pushed by the
Don't be pushed around by the fears
oh
in your mind,
fears. Don't be pushed by the fears.
in your mind, but be led by the dreams in your heart.
Whoa.
I try to like find quotes that kind of like just tailor made to the artists that we interview.
That was deep,
I
though.
just like I was just putting that by.
Whoa, thank you. Whoa, oh, whoa, that's a deep one. Thank you. Um,
It is.
who,
Yeah. You gotta let it marinate.
I have
So
to look that up.
it's
I
by
gotta put
Roy T.
this in
Bennett.
too.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, man. On 44, we
Like this.
appreciate you, man, coming by, taking some time out of your time, man. And like I said, we'll definitely be in contact. And shouts out to Evil D. We see you. He said, "What's up, too?"
Shout out to the Dolphins. Shout out to Peterson, Chico Peterson, my brother. Shout out to
Absolutely.
everybody that tuned in. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, appreciate
Thanks
it,
for
man. We
having me.
out of here.
Salute.
Boop.
All right.
Peace.